Early morning we set off on our next adventure, which took us to Paternoster. Here is some useless yet interesting information. Legend has it that way back in 1863, Paternoster derived its name after a Portuguese vessel was shipwrecked off that stretch of coast, and its survivors, out of gratitude for their deliverance from a potential watery grave, said the Our Father prayer. So, translating the Latin word Father from the opening of the Lord's Prayer literally means Paternoster. Another piece of Paternoster history is that red roe fish paste has its roots in Paternoster. It was developed by the Stephen family back in the 1930s, and the first red roe factory was erected in Paternoster. On a more saucy note, the famous and iconic Paternoster panty bar, strangely enough, used to be a jail. Virtually the entire ceiling is now lined with women's undergarments, and according to the barman, there is an abundance of ladies wishing to donate theirs. As always, it is the last person you would expect it from, but Joan got taken up in the excitement of the moment and has joined the ranks of the many thousands of visitors who have written their names on the walls, and has added to the panty collection. Legend has it that the panty gesture started in the early 1973s. We doubt if any of the original panties still hang there. Other than a pre-arranged meeting in Vredenburg, our next stop was Jacobsbaai and the legendary Pixi fairy village. Our attempt at capturing the artistic intricacy of the many fairies and elves, gnomes, noddies, and story characters and other inhabitants of the miniature Pixi and fairy village did no justice to the artists. This is not a 5-minute visit. Everything is in plain sight, but you need to keep your eyes peeled to find the hidden characters. Dehydration and hunger pains and exhaustion forced us to head off to Langebaan, where we had a couple of cocktails, a meal, and watched the sunset over the lagoon before retiring for the night. After breakfast we hit the road again, and shortly after turning off towards Mariesburg we encountered very slow traffic. Everything that had blue lights was on the road. Eventually, one by one, we cautiously passed the string of cars until we were stopped dead in our tracks and instructed to stay behind the abnormal road. The truck in front of us was transporting a wind turbine blade with a tail-end trailer operator walking and steering the remote device. The abnormal vehicles, including the remaining of the vehicles transporting more wind turbine parts, multiplied and eventually passed through the Tulbagh pass. Finally, we made it to Bike Forge, where we had a relaxing cooler or two before attempting the road further.